Practice 11-5, solving rational equations. So when we solve an equation, what that means is we want to get x by itself and find out what it is. So in order to do that, we need to get rid of these denominators. So what we need to do is multiply everything by the least common denominator, which is going to be 6x. So we are going to multiply this by 6x, this by 6x, and this by 6x. So now we can cancel out top and bottom. So this x and this x cancel out. This x and this x cancel out. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. And this 6 and this 6 cancel out. So now we can say 6 plus 1 times 3, which is 3, equals x. And what we end up with is 9 equals x, or x equals 9, and this is our answer. Okay, whenever we have two fractions that are equal to each other, we can just solve by cross multiplying. So what we end up with is x plus 2 times x plus 4 equals x plus 8 times x minus 2. And now we want to FOIL these, so first outer, inner, last. Whoops, that's not last, that's outer. Last, so we end up with x squared plus 2x plus 4x plus 8 equals x squared plus 8x minus 2x minus 16. So now we want to simplify these, so we end up with x squared plus 2x plus 4x, 6x, no, not this again, 6x plus 8 equals x squared plus 8 minus 2x, which is plus 6x minus 16. Okay, so we have an x squared and an x squared on both sides. So if we subtract x squared, they cancel out, and we end up with 6x plus 8 equals 6x minus 16. Now we want all the x's on one side and all the numbers on the other side, so we're going to subtract 6x from both sides. But what happens is that these two end up canceling out, and we have 8 equals negative 16, which makes no sense because there is no situation on earth where 8 would equal negative 16. And whenever you have something like this, what you're going to write is no solution. So this is the answer, no solution. So once again, we can cross multiply, so we can say n times n plus 4 equals 2n times n minus 4. So we have n plus 4 equals 2n n minus 4. And we want to distribute, so we're going to say n times n plus 4 times n, so that's n squared plus 4n equals 2n times n minus 2 times 4n. No, 2n times 4. What am I saying? Okay, 2n squared minus 8n. So now we want to combine like terms. We're going to subtract n squared from both sides. So we have 4n equals, what is it? N squared minus 8n, and then we're going to add 8n to both sides. So that's 12n equals n squared. Now we can divide both sides by n, or we can factor out the n as well, so we can say n times 12. No, just kidding. We're just going to divide both sides by n. So we have 12 equals n, and this is our final answer. So we have y over y plus 3 equals 6 over y plus 9, and we can cross multiply. So we have y plus 9 equals 6 y plus 3, and we want to distribute. So we have y squared plus 9y equals 6 times y plus 6 times 3, so that's 6 y plus 18. And whenever you have y squared, a y, and a number, that means we're dealing with a trinomial, and we want to put everything on the same side of the equal sign and set it equal to 0. So we're going to subtract 6y from both sides, and we're going to subtract 18 from both sides. So this 6y we can subtract from this 9y, so we have y squared plus 3y minus 18 equals 0. So now we are going to look for two numbers that multiply to equal negative 18 and add to equal positive 3. And what that's probably going to be is 6 and 3, and since this 3 is positive, that means the larger number is positive. So this is positive 6 and negative 3. And now we want to set each of these factors equal to 0 to solve. So we have x plus 6 equals 0, and x minus 3 equals 0. So we're going to subtract 6 from both sides over here, so x equals negative 6, and then we're going to add 3 to both sides, and we get x equals 3. So these are our answers. So now we have m minus 4, m plus 4, and m squared minus 16 as our three different denominators. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can find any common factors. And we know that m squared minus 16 is m minus 4 times m plus 4. So that means this is our least common denominator. So we're going to multiply everything only on the top, not the bottom, by m minus 4 times m plus 4. So m minus 4, oops, not over, times m plus 4. Okay, and then this too. Okay, so this and this cancel out, so what we have left of this fraction is 1 times m plus 4, which is just m plus 4, plus, and then m plus 4 and m plus 4 cancel out, so now we have 1 times m minus 4, so we're going to say m minus 4 equals, and in this third fraction, m minus 4 and m minus 4 cancel out, and m plus 4 and m plus 4 cancel out. So all we're left with is 8. Okay, so now we can simplify. We can combine this m and this m, so m plus m is 2m. And we can combine this 4 and this negative 4. So 4 plus negative 4 is just 0, so we just have 2m equals 8. And to get m by itself, we're going to divide both sides by 2, and that means m equals 4. So once again, we have two fractions, but if you notice, if we were to cross multiply, we would end up multiplying both by h plus 6. Since they have the same denominator, if we multiply this by h plus 6 and this by h plus 6, this would end up canceling this out. So what we have left is h minus 3 equals 2h plus 3. Okay, so now we want all the h's on one side and all the numbers on the other side. So I like to subtract the smaller h from the bigger h. So we just have negative 3 equals 2h minus 1h, which is h, plus 3. Now we want to move this 3 to the other side by subtracting it. So we have negative 6 equals h, and this is our answer. So now we can cross multiply again. So we have 1 times 4 times b minus 3. So b minus 3 equals 1 times 4. So over here we want to distribute. So we have b squared minus 3b equals 1 times 4, which is 4. And once again, we have b squared, a b, and a number. So that means we want everything on the same side. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. And we have b squared minus 3b minus 4 equals 0. Now we want to factor this trinomial. Okay, so we're looking for two numbers. Since this is a negative number, we know we have 1 plus and 1 minus, and we have a b and a b. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to equal negative 4 and add to equal negative 3. So what we're going to end up with is negative 4 and positive 1, because 1 times negative 4 is negative 4, and negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. Now we want to set each of these factors equal to 0. So we have b plus 1 equals 0, and b minus 4 equals 0. And now we want to solve. So b equals negative 1, and b equals plus 4, 4. So these are our two answers. And that is it for practice 11-5.